Hey VC. Friends, family. Cheers. I haven't made a video in a while, and I've got records to show, but I'm not going to show any records in this video. I just want to come on and talk about this amazing experience I had yesterday. I was involved in bringing two of the most incredible musicians on the planet to Nashville to perform at Indeterminacies at Zeitgeist Gallery. A series where I recorded my CD. I'm a huge supporter of what's going on there. Last year I brought Mary Halverson and Stefan Crump to perform, and it was amazing. They had such a good time that they, been telling their friends, hey, Nashville's pretty cool. So I've become friendly through Facebook with Ingrid Laubrock, who I've talked about before. I've shown this CD before. This is Ingrid Laubrock and her husband Tom Rainey, the amazing drummer. This just came out this year, and as it turns out, they're on a rare U.S. road trip tour of flyover country. They've been to Chicago and Ohio and Milwaukee and St. Louis, and they came to Nashville. They arrived on Wednesday, and I met them at the hotel and got to, I took them out to dinner, and that was cool. We were both a little nervous because we'd never really met. Well, I'd met Ingrid briefly back in 2010 or something, 2011. The last time Liz and I went to New York, and I met her after a concert at El Soto Velez downtown. It was 5 seconds, and she didn't remember, but I certainly remember. But anyway, so they were like, who's this guy? And I'm like, kind of in awe. I was a little nervous. But super, super nice people, and really, intelligent and articulate. We had a really nice leisurely dinner, about 3 hours. It was great. Talked about music and records. Speaking of records, I was asking them, they've made a lot of records. And when I say record, I mean CD, tape, 8-track, whatever. It's a recording. But, most of it's on CD. And I know this is the vinyl community, and some people think it's wrong to show CDs. And if you're one of those people, to unsubscribe or don't watch it, because it's a record. I love music. If you're anti-CD, you're missing out on stuff like this, because this is never going to come out on vinyl. And they're both way into vinyl, really. But they're like, it's just impractical on tour to carry vinyl around. And in fact, Ingrid told me the story about this musician who was touring Europe with his boxes of his vinyl, and as she said, broke his back. And I kind of chuckled, but it's not funny, He was lugging these boxes of heavy, big boxes of records, and threw out his back, and was out of commission for 8 months. Now, if you're playing this kind of music, you can't be out of commission for 8 months. So, it's understandable why most of this stuff is on CD. They're not like big bands with a bus and a trailer with roadies, and no. It's like, anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting. I want to show you this. I asked them to autograph it. It's very sweet. My wife is a librarian downtown at the Downtown Public Library. She curates the art gallery, and in fact, that's how I got to know Leslie Beeman and Rainey at Indeterminacies. How it all happened was through the lovely Liz. And she does a lot of programming at the library. So when I was corresponding with Ingrid and Tom about you know, having them come here, they're like, well, we can also do workshops. There's a story there, but I'm not gonna. Anyways, Liz kindly organized for them to have a workshop, masterclass in the auditorium of the library yesterday. Yesterday was an amazing day. So they arrived Wednesday night. We had this great dinner, got to know each other, and then Liz had organized this master class. And before the master class, Vanderbilt professor Robert Fry is going to give what they call an out of the lunchbox talk, where you make a reservation. There's limited seating, but you get a free lunch, box lunch from Provence Bakery. And, the professor gives a talk, and his talk is going to be on demystifying the avant-garde. And it was great. He only had an hour, but he condensed, the history of the avant-garde from, Dada and the earliest jazz recordings, to today, via Cage. And it was great. And then a few people stuck around for the masterclass. No one brought their instruments. If they'd been able to move the piano down there, I would play with them for sure, but oh well. So yeah, after lunch, some people went into the auditorium and they got up and played about a 5-minute piece. That was, incredible. They just pick up, go, stop on a dime, and then just took questions from people. And they're so articulate and open and honest about what they're doing, and that was really endearing. They talked about, this improvisational music. They're talking about how you can't always be transcendent. You can't, and Ingrid was talking about how sometimes you're jet lagged and you've got to hit it, and sometimes there's that little voice that says, "Oh, why'd you play that? Oh, that's terrible." And she's like, "You got to make that voice shut up and concentrate and sort of break through it." And I was like, "Really? You have that little voice too?" And then Tom was saying that, sometimes the most comfortable situation where you think, "Oh man, this is grooving, this is great," you listen back to it and he's like, it's just the same old thing, whereas maybe the situation which was uncomfortable produces the most interesting and new music. Really fascinating. Yeah, I could go on and on and on. And I'm not going to. I've already gone 8 minutes. I haven't even gotten to the performance of Zeitgeist, which was... Now, I'm a huge fan. I've heard a lot of their playing on record, and I have friends who send me audience recordings and from New York, and it's... I consider myself pretty familiar with what they're up to, and they blew my mind. They just really, they really did. Zeitgeist Gallery is in this old building. Used to be a place, I guess, where they repaired trucks. So it's a big, like, hangar kind of building. But they've kind of divided it in half with, the gallery in an L shape, and then a architecture studio, in the back. But it's all sort of open and 2-story high ceiling, so very, very reverberant space. Which I'd warn them about. It's a very nice reverberant space, but it's a good 2-second echo from the time. And no PA. I asked if they wanted a PA. No, they wanted to play totally acoustic, of course. And their control of the dynamics and the control of the spatial effects and stuff was extraordinary. They'd given me permission to record. So cool. But I fucked it up. I don't use this very often, and so I thought it was running, but it wasn't. But you know what? It's almost just as well, because there was no way you could capture what happened honestly. And let me give you an example. I think they played maybe 3 sort of longish pieces in an hour, which went by like that. I was like, what? It's over? But around the middle of the set, it kind of climaxed with this, started out kind of quiet, but Ingrid was playing sort of these long tones, and it just slowly started to gather momentum and get louder and louder, and then she walked away from Tom, who's playing drums, and starts walking around the entire gallery, through the architecture offices and up to the front, and she's getting louder and louder and louder, and Tom's playing along. And so the climax, she's good 30, 40 feet away from the drums, and the sound is just no way could that be captured. It was truly extraordinary, and this is free improvisation of the highest order. And we had a discussion, about the terms, free jazz, free. As you might expect, they don't really like that term, because it sets up expectations, and what they're really all about is defying expectations and defying their own expectations, not phoning it in, and having every moment count, and that's whoa. I'm going to try to write about it on my blog. Writing's hard. At the end of the night, so they performed, and then there was Robert Fry kind of led a discussion with the audience about. So Tom and Ingrid had to talk some more about their music, and by the end it was like it's really hard to talk about this stuff, and it is. It's even harder to write about it. I feel like here at least I can look you in the eye and say, you need to hear this music. They've done all kinds of great stuff, and not all of it is free either. In fact, she's an amazing composer. She gave me a promo copy of her new CD on Intact, which is an octet with Mary Halverson and Tom Rainey and Liam Noble and Ben Davis Bluegrass. Cool, having a promo copy of this. So this is an octet, and this is her compositions, which are really, really sophisticated. And so she brings, and they bring, a compositional sense to their improvisations. And in fact, sometimes last night it was quite almost like made obvious, where there was a certain arc and motives that might repeat and come back. And Tom Rainey, wow. I'd never seen him play before. I heard him on record a lot, but watching him, you sense that there's always this pulse, and everybody was there like nodding their head, even though it's like he never states it outright, but it's like, whoa, you feel it, and you're watching him, and it's like, yeah, wow. And playing with his hands, brushing the cymbal, just rubbing his finger on the tom. He played my drum set. He was at the mercy of people providing drums. He brought cymbals and a snare, but there he is playing my drum set and getting these incredible sounds. Wow, I was blown away. Seriously. So, sorry, 15 minutes. They're on tour. They're headed to Tuscaloosa, Alabama tonight, and then they're headed to New Orleans and Houston, and out to Santa Fe. I think Dave Wayne might be going, according to Ingrid's event page. And then they're going to be in Colorado and coming back via Pittsburgh. I'll put a link to Ingrid Laubrock's webpage. If they come to your town, you should check them out because they don't come around too much. And it's really a huge honor and pleasure to be involved in bringing them here to Nashville. It was great, a great crowd. They got a standing ovation. And, you know, mingled with people. Some folks came up from Chattanooga, which was really cool, who were involved in doing stuff down in Chattanooga. We're going to try to hook up and network. You know, there's a small but intense audience for this kind of music, and this was the last Indeterminacies. Unfortunately, they're gonna take a sabbatical, but they have big plans that they want to step it up. You know, kind of feel like I've pushed them to, you know, make it amazing. And they're all for it. It's just how we're going to make that happen. So, I told you I'd show a record. My friend Stan, the composer, he came last night, and he came with this bag, and I was like, oh, wow, what you got there? From the Princeton Record Exchange, Princeton, New Jersey. He got his doctorate from Princeton, and he was up there for Paul Lansky's retirement, I guess, and went to the Princeton Record Exchange. And he brought me something. So a little VCLT from Stan. First we have this cool t-shirt. Yeah. He knows what I like. And then he's like, oh, I had to get you a record. So this is awesome. I don't think I have this. This is Milton Babbitt's Philomel and Roger Sessions Piano Sonata Number 3. This is on New World. Yeah, really cool. I have a bunch of New World records, but they're in boxes. So I'm not sure, but I don't think I have this one. And Milton Babbitt, of course, you know, great. Roger Sessions, also great, overlooked composer. You know, not as out there as Milton, but great. So this is, you know, modern classical music. And Stan's a big fan of Milton Babbitt. So thank you, Stan. That was really nice. And I love the bag. I'll hold on to this for sure. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you stuck to the end, I had to share because it was just so amazing. If you get a chance to see them in whatever context, they play in all kinds of bands all over the world. Not so much here in flyover country. Yeah. I'm going to make another video soon and show you some records. Take care, everybody.